Very good morning, good afternoon. Welcome along to Crafters TV. My name is Ben Moseby. Thank you for joining us once again. It is the weekend. It's Sunday Fun Day. Whoop, 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 whoop. They're singing in the gallery already. It's Sunday. Whoop. And we're very excited. Because it's Sarah's birthday weekend. We're celebrating it over the course of the whole weekend. She's a little bit like the Queen, is Sarah, you know, sort of extends her birthday, has a few, so we like to celebrate Sarah's birthday, which was yesterday, right throughout the course of today as well. Thank you, by the way, for all of the lovely messages that you did send in to Sarah yesterday and all of the pictures, and saw a lot of those on Instagram and Facebook, so it was lovely. Now, to keep celebrating Sarah's birthday, we're giving you 25% off up until the end of play today on all of her Sarah's signature collections. So if you've got a bit of a hankering to pick one of those up, have a look on the website. You'll see 25% off all of those. However, that deal does end tonight, midnight. Lots to show you as well throughout the day. Obviously, coming up a little bit later on Second Chance Sunday, we've got a craft along for you as well, and we'll be bringing you back some of our favourite items from yesterday, because during the craft house we were joined by the lovely Tiffany, and we thought we'd bring you back some of the best deals from yesterday evening in case you missed them. It is, of course, Colour Me Happy for the next hour and a half, where we concentrate on all things colouring and happy. And over the course of this show, I'm excitingly happy. I'm very happy because I'm joined by my crafty partner in crime. They call us, well, I mean, they don't call us, we call ourselves the Crafty Ant and Deck. On the other side of the studio, it is the one and only Scotty Honey.
You know what this means? Do you know what we need?
What?
We need a hug.
You're gonna hug it up?
We need a hug.
He's coming.
Back together. I'll go back to my side.
Yeah. It's nice to see you. Nice. How are you?
I am doing so well, thank you so much. So excited for, well, so many reasons. Busy week coming up on Crafters TV. Now, yes, back reunited with Joe tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
But of course reunited with you right now as well. It's been a while since I've been on this side because some people have had some holidays, so I've been on that side covering. But it is nice, it's nice to be back. Nice to be back with you. Nice to be back. We've got Jake in, we've got Georgina in, we've got George in. It's Sunday, the sun's shining, and we're going to get colourful when it comes to Colour Me Happy.
Yes.
And we've got, this is all about Classiques. So we're going to go through the Classiques. Now we do have a selection of pens on the show, as well as stamp sets. So we've got these stamp sets. So yes, have a look at the colouring val. I'm showing you these, but these samples are all about the stamp sets that we've got on the show. We've also got our animal stamping dies here. Isn't that beautiful? We've got the elephant, we've got the little owl here, we've got other animals as well, not just these two, but we've got the animals. Then we've also got these stamp sets here. So although we're going to be basing these all around the Classique pens when it comes to our demonstrations, you can still be using your other pens. And managed to get these back in as well, because I know these are always fun, they're always popular when we've got them on the show.
I've seen this set in ages.
It's been a while, so it's been a couple of weeks since I had them on one of the morning shows during the week. But it's so good to actually have them on a Sunday show, on the Colour Me Happy show, where, yes, we're going to get colourful. We are going to be focusing on Classique pens. We've got a few different demonstrations. We're going to have fun. It's Sunday, we're back together, we're all back together again. It's going to be lots of ideas and inspiration, but it's all going to be fun as well.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I always feel on Sunday as well that I was going to say we muck about a bit more. No, do you know what I mean? I'm always a bit sort of more up for it and happy on a Sunday because the bosses aren't in. We're the only few people in the building, so it's kind of like you're going to get a bit of fun today. Hopefully there'll be a bit of laughter and of course loads of information and demonstration for you. If you want to ask any questions over the course of the day today, then please do. Let's say a few hellos. We've got Rachel, our social superstar today, keeping us all up to today. Lynn says, hi Ben, Craig, the CTV team, the social superstar, and everyone. I hope everyone is keeping well and having a good day. We've got George Squared in the gallery, steering the Good Ship craft today. They gave you a little bit of a Rhiannon says, hi everyone from Ballarat, Australia. Nice to see Ben and Craig back together. Dodge Wendy Barker says, hello everyone. Hello. Lisa says, good morning from Minnesota. Kim's in. Debbie's in from New York. Debbie says, this is my favourite show of the week. I like Colour Me Happy. It's a good one. Leela says, how sweet. The energy is awesome. And that was the hug. And Lorna Jane says, afternoon everyone. Nice to see you back, Ben. Big waves to Craig. Lorna Jane, I think you're joining us later on, aren't you? On the Craft Along? We look forward to that. That is coming up a little bit later on. Before we get started with Colour Me Happy, thought I would just very quickly bring to your attention brand new Totally Tiffany goodies, the CTV launch of the Cindy tote yesterday, and it proved hugely popular. This Cindy tote kind of came out of, from what Tiffany was saying, you guys kind of feeding back about what you wanted to see in the next tote. So it's 13 by 13 by 11 are the dimensions here, but where this is different potentially to previous totes is you've got more pockets around the outside. So you've got a pocket here on the side just there for you, and then also you've got your clear pocket this side too. You know how much Tiffany loves to have storage that has that clear aspect so you can see exactly what you've got in there, and of course again the fact that it's clear, the fact that it's that plastic material, you've got that wipeability too. The other brilliant thing about this is because we know that when you're stocking up your totes, whether it be with crafty goodies or whether you guys take these to the grocery stores and stock them up as well, because we know lots of you use them like that, they do get very heavy. However, this time around, you've got your little shoulder pad in there as well. So that there is going to allow you to pop your straps together, use a little hook and mesh system to loop those in, and then you've got a nice, comfy shoulder pad for when you're carrying that around. And that's not the only other thing that you asked for as well, because a lot of you were asking about having a top to your tote as well, because sometimes perhaps when you throw this in the back of the car or shove it in the caravan, things can potentially fall out. Well, not anymore folks, because what you've got with the Cindy tote is you've got the top here. All right, and then very easily you can pop the little zipper together, zip that across the top, and then you can keep everything in there nice and safe. It's not going to fall out. So it's kind of like slightly modified to some of the totes that you've seen before. You've got the size that you wanted, but you've got all of those extra features as well. That shoulder strap, the side pocket, and you've got the zip top too. So that's why loads of you were going crazy for it last night. The other brilliant thing about this is as well, not only the price, but you can go for it in the black or also in the purple. It's available for you there as well. Everyone saves 15%. Platinum price is £16.99, $20.36. And one other thing I will quickly mention to you about this particular tote is if you've got the craft and carry workstation, which by the way we do have available for you, it fits like a glove. Absolutely perfect. So a great way for you to be able to pop in your craft and carry workstation, no problem at all. And just to reiterate, it is the same dimensions as Lois, but as I've already explained, with all of those extra features. Right, you pop down there, Cindy. We are here for Colour Me Happy, and we're concentrating today on Classiques. And what we've done actually, if you're new to Spectrum Noir, maybe you're new to Classiques, or you've been thinking about dipping your toe in the water when it comes to our premium alcohol markers, you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to spend a huge amount of money, I'd like a little starter set. That's exactly what we've done for you here. We've popped together this Classique starter collection, which gives you 12 of your brights and 12 of your pastel colours as well. Of course, dual tipped alcohol markers, these. You've got your fine nib on one end for your more detailed colouring, and then you've got that chisel nib too to give you those bigger, bolder sweeps of colour. And actually, you've got a lovely collection of colours right there in the fact that you've got all of those brights across the colours of the rainbow, and then you've got the pastel colours to beautifully complement the colours that you've got within the bright. So 24 pens in total for that price is amazing. But then what we've also done with this particular collection is we popped in some freebies for you as well, because we thought, if it's a starter collection, if we just give you the pens, you've got nothing to get going with. So we're throwing in, as part of the deal, 16 sheets of your Nina cardstock, which is the cardstock you want to be doing your alcohol colouring with. We're also going to be throwing in the rustic brown, your alcohol-proof ink pad. So again, that's the one that you want to be working with when you're stamping out your images with these pens. So that's perfect. And if you're thinking, well, I haven't got any stamps to be working with, we're throwing in also for free your All About You sentiment collection, which is really lovely because you've got that beautiful big you stamp, and then you've got a whole host of other sentiments to make up your sentence. So things like thinking of you, so happy for you, I miss you, wonderful you, and in my case you could probably have where have you been, stop going on holiday, you slacker. By the way, none of those ones I've just mentioned are actually within that kit, but you get the deal. So 1, 2, 3 for free, £31.98, $47.92 is the deal if you want to pick that collection up. Sarah Kay is saying, so fab to see the dynamic duo back together. And Karen says, so glad to see you two back again. It is going to be so much fun for sure. It really will. By the way, before you get started as well, I must just say, how are your fingers?
Yeah, my fingers are doing a lot better, thank you very much. Yes, we've gone from like big bandage to little strips to now plasters.
I've noticed they're specific plasters as well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Friends. I thought, why go boring blue or skin colour? Let's go friends. So yes, I've got the friends in.
Did we, I want to say that did we get you those as a present when you went very well?
You did indeed, yes. Well reminded, yeah.
I just mentioned that because whilst I was away, I think it might have been just while I got back, I always sort of keep in touch on Instagram and I was scanning through your stories, and it is the one where you sort of gone, I've got my fingers bandaged up, but I've just knocked them, and if you don't want to see how bad they look, don't watch the next picture. And of course I clicked over and it was it was like Halloween. It wasn't very nice. Lots of my friends and that had messaged saying, I'm not going to view your story on your Instagram. And then they did, by mistake. I was like, look, guys, I warned you, family, friends, I warned you. Don't go to the next story. But yeah, no, they were fine. Just a little bit of accident. It just goes, I suppose there's that serious side as well when it comes to things such as our craft knives and that. Mine was the case of the lid had just popped off. Yeah. Hadn't realised it had popped off within my craft bag and that. And that's what caused the accident. So yeah, make sure the lids are back on. But no, I'm absolutely fine. Well, I'm a lot better today. At least I can use them, whereas the other day, I do have, I'm going to show you that this is a demo that we're doing in Second Chance Sunday later on. Oh yeah. I done that on Tuesday. Ben, that took me literally all day to do that. Well, because you're doing it with 3 fingers?
Or
2 fingers on the thumb?
Pretty much, yeah. So, yes. There's a couple of demos throughout the day as well. The team have helped me with as well, so a big thank you, because otherwise I wouldn't have got it all done. But yeah, other than that, I'm absolutely fine. They're all healing and that, no problem at all, and we're good to go. Right. Yeah, no, you're all right, Georgie. No, you'll be absolutely fine. Yes, I won't need any of Ben's help should anything happen today when it comes to my fingers.
That's outrageous. Georgina, you just gone, he's not that desperate. I'll have you know, we've crafted together very happily before in the past. So you just shout if you need my help, Craig.
I will do. But we'll be fine, thank you. Here we go. Right, so we're going to be using, although this whole show is, focused on your Classique pens, this is kind of like the stamp sets that I'm going to be using. So this is the one I'm going to be using in a moment, which is Sending Happy Thoughts. I'm going to be using the main big bundle of the Classique pens. But just to give you an idea as to what you can be doing here, because with the Classique pens, these are our alcohol pens, and these are all based around your 3-tone blend. So you would then start to colour within a light, a medium, and a dark. But you can go down the lines of different shades. So maybe you just want to do a 2-tone blend. You absolutely can do. Ben, if you want to just even use a pen individually, you can do it. That's entirely up to you. Having the full collection when it comes to your Classique pens gives you options, but then what they enable you to do as well, with them being alcohol pens, that means you can then come along and you can then colour your own ribbons, you can colour your own gems, anything like that you can colour yourself, so they can all start to coordinate and complement each other. But the basis, the premises is all about doing that blend, which is really, really easy when it comes to the Classique pens. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some of our Nina cardstock here. And I have got, I've just cut it down to size. I don't actually need this full size here. But what we've got here, you can tell Debbie Fisher's been in the building.
What's
Let's
that?
take, because the sticky spray's been used.
Oh, okay.
So what we can do here with my Nina cardstock, your Nina cardstock is absolutely the one that is best. I know we all say it time and time again here on our shows, but it is absolutely the case that your Nina cardstock is the absolute perfect cardstock when it comes to alcohol colouring. It's to do with the fibres, the density, all of that combined works great with your alcohol pens. So what we're going to do, keeping it very simple to start with, let's go in with our chosen stamp. Now this one that I'm using here, surprisingly, hasn't actually been used before.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little prime. And what you'll sometimes find, stamps that have never been used, that's come straight off of production onto the packaging, what can happen is you can be left with a little bit of a residual material sitting on the top. Now, you don't necessarily feel it, it doesn't feel grainy, anything like that. But what will happen is sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes if you go to ink straight away, you get a bit of a bubble effect, a bobble effect. You know, it's not quite smooth. So the real easiest way to overcome that is to take your translucent clear watermark ink pad.
Okay.
There's a few other things that you could do. For me, this is the absolute best way. This gives you that professional outlined effect. And all you're going to do is you're going to give it a coat. You only need to do this once. So you don't need to do this every single time you go to use the stamp. Just one is more than enough. And what it also doesn't do is it doesn't affect any of your alcohol ink pads going forward. We do have, within the starter set, we do have the Noir Black.
Yeah.
But on the show, as a separate,
Rustic
what we've
brown
got,
actually in the starter
oh, is
set.
it Rustic Brown now?
Yes.
So, Noir Black. Individually as well, we should have Pebble on its own on the show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Pebble for this, because I thought with it being flowery, that natured look, your black or your flagstone would work. But your Pebble, that little bit of that brown tone, is going to work even better.
It's not the end of the world, is it? Like you say, if you use one of the others.
No, not at all. Yeah. Not at all. Still going to work. Predominantly, I'll use either the Noir Black or the Flagstone. Something like this, I'm going to go in with my Pebble.
Details of the Pebble at the bottom of the screen. I'm just laughing because that's what my wife calls me.
Pebble?
The Pebble.
The Pebble?
Because I started going to the gym now. She came. It was a cracker actually. I was like, oh, I feel like I'm getting a bit bigger now. My muscles are getting a bit bigger. Soon I'll look like the Rock. And she went, the Rock? More like the Pebble. The Pebble. It's stuck. That was a bit mean actually. But there we go.
There we go. You've got the Rock and you've got the Pebble, eh?
Yeah.
That would be a good Insta post if you ever meet the Rock one day, eh?
The Rock and the Rock.
The Rock and the Pebble.
Can you imagine ever meeting the Rock though?
Could you imagine?
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Does he still watch?
Does he still what?
Watch here.
Watch us.
Is he a platinum member?
He's a platinum member.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't see every show. He tends to, funny enough, see the weekends. He's usually out filming movies and that during the week.
Yeah.
But he'll tune in to Crafters TV on a weekend.
Well, Dwayne, if you are watching today, maybe you want to pick up the Classic Starter collection. Get in touch with us on Insta. Maybe the Rock and the Pebble can hook up.
Yeah, could do. Give him some tips and ideas how to be colouring. Yeah. Maybe colouring his own rocks at home. Could do. Absolutely.
The rocks.
The rocks.
Yeah. He could get some of our acrylic paint markers, couldn't he? Colouring in his rocks.
Yeah. You could do. Yeah, teach him a few things. Yeah, he might be watching. I think he's watching.
Morning, Dwayne.
But then we've got our perfect first impression stamp, where we've gone in with the translucent clear first. As I said a moment ago, it doesn't affect your ink pads. You don't need to do it every single time. Once is enough. You don't have to wash it. You don't have to clean it. Of course, you can do if you want to. You know what I'm like. I'm so bad with my stamps at home. I don't clean them. I just tend to do like a second and a third generation stamp to get rid of the excess ink. And then that's us good to go. And where we're going to get started now is with the Classique pens. So what I will do is, I know we've got the details on the screen, so instead of going through the individual packs, I'll just read out the colours that I'm using so that you know at home. And what we'll also want to do as well is we want to put some cardstock underneath. This is inexpensive card. I'm using our multi-purpose card because that's what we've got to hand. But honestly, it could be a couple of layers of copier paper or just any sort of cardstock that you've got. Because what's going to happen, and people will tend to say in the past, when it comes to alcohol colouring, oh my gosh, it bleeds underneath. You don't want it to bleed. You don't want the ink to bleed. You do actually. That's what's going to start to give you that blend together. Bleeding by, of course, alcohol bleeding,
yes.
should I just point out there.
Yes.
So if you then colour straight on, it's going to go through, it's going to start to bleed through, it's going to hit your glass mat, your craft mat, your non-porous mat. What's going to start, it's going to start to puddle, and then it's going to start to soak back up into your image. That's where it's going to start to bleed out from the lines. You're not going to get a blend, you're not going to get a seamless blend. So what you want is something porous to catch it. So if it bleeds through, the cardstock underneath is going to catch that excess ink, and it's going to hold it, it's going to retain it, and it's going to stop it from coming back through. So that's why you'll always see us having a piece of cardstock underneath. And then what I'm going to do is let's simply go in. I'm going to go in with the purple. So I'm going to go in with PL2 and PL5. And then I'm also going to go in with AP2 and AP4. And then what I'm going to do is going to go in with VB2 and VB3. And if you see these ones, Ben, I'm only doing a two-tone blend.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a three-tone blend because you don't have to. Works beautifully together if you do the three-tone blend. Lots of shows across on our YouTube that you can be watching. And we will do that within Colour Me Happy. But I wanted to show as well, to keep it very simple to start with. If you're not confident with colour or you're not confident with alcohol blending colour, keep it simple with two colours.
Yeah.
Keep it very, very simple. As you build your confidence, incorporate that third colour. And then as that confidence begins to grow, bring in your colour blend pencils. Maybe actually go for a fourth colour if you want to. Keeping it simple, building, and that's where you're going to get your confidence. So all that I'm going to do with the violet and the damson, which is PL2, PL5, I'm just going to start to colour in certain sections with these ones here.
And these are different, aren't they? Because we've got such a big range of our Spectrum Noirs, but the Classiques are obviously the alcohol pens with the fine nib, and then you've got that chisel nib as well, haven't you, on the other end?
You do.
And that's just allowing you to get those bigger sweeps of motion, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Because you're going to have some stamps out there where you've got a bigger scope of area to colour.
Yeah.
You might find it easier for you to then, on areas such as that, to use that chisel nib.
Yeah.
But then that's also good for colouring things like your ribbons, or, you know, you can still be colouring your MDF and all that within your Classique pens. There's so much materials that you can colour with your Classique pens, being an alcohol pen. Predominantly, I do use the little fine nib,
yeah,
most of the time, because you get in lots of details. But having that chisel nib at the other side, it does make bigger colouring areas a lot quicker. But then you can start to do your strip backgrounds and that we might do later on if we have a little bit of time.
But like you said, that, you know, you don't need to overcomplicate it with the Classiques, do you? Like you said something so simple, and I've never heard it before, but it is literally a case of you can get these if you want and just use one colour.
One colour.
Do you know what I mean? If you're a bit worried, get used to the pens by using one colour. Then, you know, like Craig's showing you now, perhaps, you know, add a second. And then when you get more confident, add a third. And, you know, it's a case of like just baby steps with these, really. If you are a little bit worried, if you're thinking, oh, I can't colour, I'm not very good at blending. Obviously, you've got all of these shows to watch. You've got the Colour Me Happy shows.
That's the thing.
Plenty out there. But, yeah, why not just start with one pen, one colour, and just get used to the pens before you start taking those bigger steps? That's
it. It's always thinking to yourself as well not to overcomplicate it. And, you know, to put it in simplest forms, it's a bit of colour on a piece of cardstock as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I know this day and age, we don't want waste. The end of the day, if it was to go wrong, this is just a little bit of waste. Pop it in the recycling. Even your cardstock, even though you've got alcohol ink on it, you can still pop it in the recycling bin if you wanted to. But yeah, it's only a little piece of cardstock. You'll have wasted very, very little ink. So play and practice. This is where all of our shows really come as a helping aid. But then think and remember that you've got your online videos, you've got your Pinterest, you've got all of these demonstrators out there that do it from home, and they do it because they've got a love and a passion for other brands. So many out there that have a love and a passion for our brands. They do videos, they do blogs, they do step-by-steps, they do tutorials on their own time using Classique pens, tri-blend pens, our collections, because they love them so much. So as well as taking advantage of all of us here on the team, take advantage of everyone else at home that love to show and share their ideas and techniques.
Yeah, and that said, by the way, if you do want to send in any pictures today as well, maybe you've been doing some colouring recently with, well, particularly your Classique pens, but any of your Spectrum Noir goodies. If you want to send in your pictures today, show us what you're working on, show us what you've been colouring recently. We would love to see it. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. We had a lovely gallery selection on Friday when Sandra was with us from Santangle. So yeah, let's get some more pics in. I did some tangling with Sandra on Friday.
Did you do some?
Oh wow, isn't it? I mean, that's
relaxing, is it?
You're doing a bit of it now as well, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I've still not started my starter kit that I've got. But I've been dabbling in it. Yeah, I've been dabbling in it, and it is so therapeutic.
I was going to say I thought it was you, but it was Debbie Robinson I saw on.
Debbie's
Insta.
work.
She's really away with it, isn't she?
Yeah, she's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I don't know where she was. Was she down at Hobby Maker? Because I was watching her Insta, I think it was this morning or last night, and there was a picture of her all dressed up. It looked like she was going out. She was like, I'm going out by myself. Yeah,
how pretty did Debbie look
Gorgeous.
Yesterday on our Insta stories? Yeah, Debbie's been at Hobby Maker the last couple of days. And it was similar for me the other week, and actually it'll be the same for me this Friday, Saturday. So when we're there, if we're there for 2 days, and of course we get to stay over. So yeah, so the hotel that we'll stay in, you know, we book our table for ourselves. And
yeah, she did.
I tend to just go down with my iPad or my earphones or that end, but yeah, it was lovely to see. She looked absolutely gorgeous in her photo last night.
I felt a bit sorry for her because she took a picture on stories, didn't she, of her sat at her table and like the guys in the restaurant had like gone for 2 people. And she was like, "Oh, I'm on my own.
I'm on my own."
Bless her.
But yeah,
but she'd done some tangling, I think, last night. Kerry says, "I love my Classique pens." And Gilmore has not let up since I've got back on this. Ben and Craig would be together more often if Ben wasn't always on holiday, says Gilmore.
I'm trying to diet it down.
You were sticking up for me because when I happened to tune in to Cartload on Thursday, you were backing me up, weren't you? You were being very nice, which is unlike you.
Thank goodness you didn't say like 5 minutes before that.
Yeah, I was a bit like, this isn't the Craig I know. Why is he sticking up for me? What's going on here?
Yeah, no, and isn't it funny as well? You know, joking aside, and that how, you know, like days off or the way days off and holidays work, it could feel like forever between me and Joe. Gosh, we can't remember the last time we've been on together.
Yeah,
it was way before, because you were off on holiday. Joe was off
previously, wasn't
he? Yeah. And then so it was before that me and Joe worked together. Joe came back, you went off, and then because you were off, I was helping out as well as a few others on the presenting side. So when I was in, Joe was off, and vice versa. So yeah, it's just the way that's worked out. But pretty much from this week, you know, me and you back together today, me and Joe back together tomorrow. We're kind of back on an even keel until any holidays coming up.
Well, I'm off next Saturday for my birthday.
That's allowed.
Yeah, that is allowed.
That is allowed.
And then I'm supposed to be working the Monday. I'm supposed to be working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday next week. But I'm working Friday, not working Saturday because it's my birthday. Sunday I'm in, and then I'm not working Monday because it's a bank holiday. So actually next week I'll be working 2 days. Hashtag slacker.
I know. It's, I know I felt bad for myself because I know with this past week, I've not been on Crafters TV a lot because I was on Hobby Maker at the start of the week and what have you. And then I was saying to everyone, right, that's me, I'm back Thursday, woohoo, this is great, brilliant, fab. And then the end of Thursday, I'm like, right, I'll see you in a couple of days' time, that's me off. But as we say, it's the way that our schedules, our shifts work.
Yeah. But it was like Jan was saying yesterday. So obviously, Jan was in a lot more when Craig wasn't very well. We saw a lot more of Jan because she obviously only works part-time.
Yeah.
So I think you guys kind of got used to seeing her a lot more often. And then since Craig come back and she's obviously gone back into her normal role, she hadn't been in since I think the start of March. I saw she was in yesterday, and she was saying she was getting messages from our lovely viewers saying, "Oh, where have you gone? Hope you're well." And she was like, "No, it's just the way it's just the way that it pans out sometimes."
That's it. That's the way that it pans out. And I had, forgive me, Karen, I can't remember your surname, but Karen that follows me on social media, and she put in one of my comments saying, "Craig, you've not seen you on Crafters TV, you're not doing as much." It's like, no, we're still doing it all exactly the same. It's just taking account, we do what we do here, we've got Hobby Maker in that as well. And so, no, we're all doing exactly the same. It's just the way that the shows, the days, the pattern works actually fall into place. So it's nice, and it's caring when we hear things like that. But I was away for the day yesterday, but I caught a bit of Jan's shows. Oh, it's just amazing. You know, you always get that creative idea, that hit when you watch Jan.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's colouring, die cutting, you know, mixed media, anything like that, really does gives you that twist, and you think, oh, gosh, even I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She was on top form yesterday. Was Jan. Gilmore says, "Ben, your fans are so glad you are back. We've missed you." Well, that's nice. Thank you. And Elizabeth Cram says, "Has anyone seen the show Young Rock? I love that show."
I do too. I've still got the last couple of episodes of
Series 1.
Series 1.
Same as
or
me.
Season 1, you guys call it. And then episode 1 of Season 2 is just dropped on.
Yeah.
It's not Peacock here in the UK, it's Sky Comedy.
Sky Comedy, yeah.
It's just, but it's Series 2, Episode 1, but technically it's the Christmas episode. From the end of season, But yeah, I think
it's a very good show actually.
Because season 2's just dropped in America of Young Rock.
Yeah.
And I think the full lot's away to drop here soon. But yeah,
it's really good, isn't it?
Really good.
Really good show. So yeah, back to colouring.
Back to colouring. What's the Run Rock?
Young Rock. It's basically the Rock in the future, isn't it? Like fictionally running for president, and he's basically being interviewed in these sort of and talking to various interviewers, and it's him like reminiscing on his life, and it just does loads of flashbacks to. But it's great because I think they're 3 young actors, I think, because it shows him sort of like more back at primary, then it shows him sort of at sort of secondary school, and then shows him when he's like a young man. But it doesn't like follow in a story necessarily, does it? It kind of, one episode it will go back to when he was little, then the next episode will be back when he was sort of in his late teens. That's right. But it's really good. And Laura watches it as well with me, and because I thought, oh, maybe if you're not into the wrestling, you won't really get it. But she really enjoys it. It's a really good show, and the actors that play all of the wrestlers, I think, do it brilliantly.
They really are fab. And, you know, I would say that even if you've got absolutely no interest in wrestling, but you've got an interest of The Rock, or Dwayne The Rock Johnston, I would certainly say give it a show, because it's interesting to see how he's getting to where he is in his life. It's really worthwhile seeing.
I think you'd enjoy it. One that I've started watching, because I read the book whilst I was on holiday, is a BBC series called This Is Gonna Hurt. You heard about that?
No.
It's all about, it's got Ben Whishaw in it, and it's all about a junior doctor in the NHS. Yeah, all about his trials and tribulations. It's brilliant. I read the book on holiday, and I've started watching it on BBC iPlayer Catch Up.
Really?
Very good.
Oh, okay.
It is Q from James Bond. Paddington Bear playing the Doctor.
Oh, I'll need to have a look. I'm always looking for
it's really good.
Different things to watch.
Not particularly good show to watch if you're squeamish, but I know that's not you.
Oh no, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Surprised you're able to watch that.
Hey, after seeing your Instagram the other day about your fingers,
you can take anything now, can't you?
What colours are you using, Craig, says Gilmore? Just remind us, because we've been gassing away.
I will do. So, instead of doing 3-tone blends with this one, I thought what we'll just do is 2-tone blends to show you how you can start to get a deep shade as well as a light shade. So I'll explain this bit and then I'll go in with all of the colours. So all that I'm doing is in each individual petal, I've gone in with the lightest tone, which is Old Rose, so it's AP1. And then I've gone in and I've started to colour maybe about 2/3 of the way, and still using that lightest tone. I'm going right to the edge, but I'm keeping that little bit of natural white highlight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a deeper tone, which is AP4. Now, that was AP2 that I used, so I could have gone AP3 if I wanted to, but I wanted that wee bit more structure or depth when it comes to the two shades. So instead of going in with AP3, I thought I've blocked it off slightly and we'll go in light with AP1, and then we'll add that darkness when it comes to AP4. So all that I'm then going to do is kind of follow the highlight. I'm going to work my way in there, and then I'm going to go back in with that light tone, and all that I'm doing is I'm going to blend them out, and that's literally all that I'm doing when I'm doing 2-tone. That's all that I'm doing. If you wanted to colour in the full lot, you can do it and then come in with maybe your clear, not your clear, your white gel pen or that. Maybe you got yours in the Year of Craft, or you maybe got yours on like I did. Then you can add little highlights there. But these ones here, I used Old Rose and Antique Pink, which is AP2 and AP4. Then for the bow down here, and then I would use them for a couple of these florals, I used the Violet and the Damson, which is PL2 and PL5. And then we'll do one more flower before I bring in the one that I done yesterday, not yesterday, the day before. And that is going with the Vintage Blues. So it's Vintage Blue and Old China, VB2 and VB3. And where I was explaining with these tones here, if I wanted to, what I could have done, Ben, was done VB2 and then VB4 if I wanted this one to be a little bit darker. So you've got that kind of play when it comes to the shades. That's the good thing, the great thing for having the Classiques and having that many shades. Is you can then get different tones. You can get different blends and different depths by you just increasing that colour. Alternatively, without overly complicating it, I could, instead of doing VB2 and VB3, I could have done VB1 and VB2. Yeah. So therefore, the 2 would be the darker tone.
Yeah, exactly.
So have a play with the shades. You've got that versatility when it comes to that. So all that I'm going to do, let's just do a little colouring into this one here, using these two tones, and then we'll bring in the one that I've done, and we'll put our card together.
Brilliantly explained. That was no. What seriously?
Was it? Thank you.
Look, you just gave me then. I was being serious.
Was it right? I was thinking. I was like, it did, George, did it? Yeah.
I'm not
like, is that a sarky tone there? Is it?
How very dare you? When have you known me to be sarcastic? No. Is that sarcasm?
That's sarcasm.
No, it was brilliantly explained. And the good thing again about this show is that we've got something for everyone as far as the Classiques are concerned, because if you want to go for the starter set, you can. We've then got a deal which we'll show you in just a bit, which brings you together the blend collection. We've got the hint of collection as well, and then we've got a bigger collection of your 12 sets, which again kind of covers off lots of different colours, lots of different blends. It's all about really, you know, getting the selection which is sort of relevant to you and having a play with these and having a kind of a, you know, playing, have some fun with them, you know, use them as individual pens, you know, use 2-tone blends, use 3-tone blends, discover, just mix, just have fun. It's like, you know, Craig said, I think there's this whole thing that everyone gets very scared about colouring and worried that, you know, it's going to go wrong. Like you just said, if it does, worst thing in the world is you've ruined a bit of card, stick it in the recycling, have another go. You know,
Exactly.
it should be fun. It should be something that you enjoy. Tim C says, Craig explains everything so well, especially the blending, etc. Thank you. That's what
Thank you, guys.
I just said.
And it's a nice boost when you say it, because we've talked about this, Ben, on air and off air, even with George and Georgina as well. Sometimes I think we'll all have that feeling sometimes towards ourselves. I don't always think, I don't feel as though I always explain things to the potential as to what something could be used. So when you hear at home you saying, actually, no, that does make sense, because sometimes I try and strip it back in a simpler form for it to make sense to me. So if it makes sense to you, then it's nice to hear that, so thank you.
Yeah. And I always do think as well that when you think of what we bring to you here on Crafters TV, I always think that it's the pens perhaps which people get most confused with out of all of the products that we bring. So, you know, this is a great show to watch, and it's a great show to ask questions on as well. Obviously, we're live right now for another, 45 minutes. If there's anything that you want to ask about the Classiques, anything that you want to ask about the colouring that you're doing at the moment, get those questions in, because that is what we are here for. That is a beautiful bouquet of flowers just there, and seriously, you sped through that last bit of colouring to finish that off. Lovely, lovely choice of colours there. I love that.
So within this one here, I tried to keep an eye on my time the other day so I could say to you at home, this is how long it would take you to colour an image. So this took me 3 hours. Wow. I sat in my craft room and it took me 3 hours, and I just chilled. I put the radio on and done a little bit of colour. The one colour I did incorporate within this one here was ice green and aquamarine. That's where your jade tones have come in. And then there's a couple of things that you can do to finish off if you wanted to. Go in with your ice grey 2 pen. You know how much I adore that effect. And I'm not going to do it because I don't have time to go through the whole lot, but all that you would do is draw around the outside with the ice grey 2. That's going to lift it that little bit more. And then if you did want to make it stand out even more, not that it's essential, but if you go in with a white gel pen, you'll have got one in your Academy of Colour.
Colour, yeah.
You know, you can go in and just add tiny, tiny little white highlights.
I know you're doing it just now. It's a good question to ask whilst you do it, because Tim says, how do you know actually where to put the white highlights, Craig?
So all that I do, I know this might sound silly, but I don't think about it.
Right.
So I'll follow maybe something like where you've got your little highlight lines that are there. I kind of follow them, but other than that, I go in the direction of the petal. I don't think about it. I try and go as quick as I can, little dots, little dashes, and it adds to that effect. Very light as well. Don't go over. You don't want a great big thick white line, but all that you're wanting is that subtleness. So we've got it there, we've got it there, and we've got it round the corner there. What I would say is follow the highlight lines, or and follow the curve of the petal.
Yeah.
So that one there, it's not got any highlight lines, but all that I've done is I've just followed the curve of the petal, and it's a very, very quick and faint white line, but it's enough to just give it that little bit of a glistening raindrop effect without actually being raindrop. So hopefully that helps. And then all that I'm going to do, we'll start to assemble it.
What?
And what I've done is I've taken, Georgine just said something about a raindrop there. I lost my train of thought.
Raindrops keep falling on your head.
Keep falling on your head. So I've taken our inverted stitched edge nesting dies, and that's going to sit over the top.
Oh, pretty.
And then what we can do is I've already created an easel with our oval nesting dies. So in the same way, we've made these so many times on Crafters TV. So I've kept it in very, very simple forms. So all that I'm going to do, Ben, layer that over the top. I've taken a piece of pattern paper. We're going to layer that over the top. And then within the stamp set, you've got little embellishment stamps, or you can then use the main stamp to stamp, colour and fussy cut out areas if you want. But that's actually going to be a little bit of detail towards the bottom. A little sentiment. I've already done a bow as well, just for us to assemble it together.
Beautiful. There's so many people loving the show, and particularly loving your colouring as well. Sensational Sky on YouTube says, that looks amazing. She also says, rock and roll, it's rock, Ben, and foam on a roll, Craig, rock and roll. Oh, we did there.
That's good, I like that.
That's good.
I like that.
Do you know what, actually, I don't want to say too much, because I do want to do this thing, but we've been chatting, and I was thinking whilst we're on holiday, about you and I, we've been chatting, haven't we, potentially about doing a little...
Are you able to say it?
Am I allowed to say it or not?
I don't mind, but if you say it, I really want to.
I
really want to do it.
I
But
definitely
if you say it,
Yeah.
you know what the crafters at home are going to be like.
No, I definitely want to do it. I don't know when we're going to start it, but what my thought is, when we do it, we'll do like a run of it, and then we'll have a break,
Yeah.
and then we'll do a run of it, and then
Because
a break.
we need to do it in our own kind of like our own timing, at which I'm
Yeah.
up for.
Yeah.
But I don't mind you telling everyone at home. But if you tell everyone, we're going to have to do it.
Well, I'll tell everyone.
You do it.
Okay, because
Do
I'm
it.
up for doing
Tell
it.
it, yeah.
Yeah. We've decided, and we'll have to run it past the bosses as well, obviously, because it depends how we kind of go with how we do it. Whether anyway, Craig and I want to do a podcast. That's what we've been discussing, because we've been chatting about it for ages.
Yep.
And because you know, you guys like us together and we like working together, we thought, and there isn't much out there.
No, there's
as far as
not.
crafty podcasts are concerned. So we had a few ideas of doing it. So there, we're going to do it. And the reason. George, the joystick, you're on that button with that one. The reason I mentioned it, because you said rock and roll, I just thought, you know, if we are going to do it, we need like a catchy name for it.
do.
So I was going to say if and when it does happen, if you've got any potential names that you think would work for the two of us, obviously talking all things Crafters TV, all things craft, we'll have some guests and little features and stuff like that. Any suggestions? Send them. Well, you can send them in right now if you like, or message me and Craig. And as I say, don't get too excited, because you're not going to have the first edition next week. But it is something we are definitely going to do.
Absolutely.
Sooner rather than later.
For sure. Because we're quite an open book as it is.
Yeah.
On our social, our Crafters Companion pages. And
Yeah.
as you said, there's nothing really crafty out there. So yes, there'll be crafty talk, but then just we want to bring the fun that we have here.
Yeah.
But without a full, I know we'll always have a time restraint, but just, you know, do it at our level.
Exactly. You know, we'll do some chat from here. We'll get some of the, you know, the other guys in as well.
Yep.
Do some sort of chats about. I think it'd be.
So it'd be
really
good, you know, George, for instance, and his filming and that he does. Be good to just get a proper chat with George and that sort of talents that we've got.
Thing is as well, because I've done podcasts before, not necessarily in craft, obviously with my radio background. I've got all the kit, you know, all the gear, so it's quite easy. All the gear, but no idea, as some people would say. So it'd be quite easy to get recorded.
Yeah.
It looks like, seeing the comments coming through, you guys are up for it. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions for a potential name. Lil J Crafter says, oh, Ben and Craig, do it. Lynn says, hi, Ben and Craig. I would love the podcast. Do it, says Nikoni. I love that idea, Ben and Craig, says Elizabeth. Definitely podcast, says Tim C. Debbie says, yes, podcast is a great idea. A podcast with you two would be amazing, says Sarah Neville. We're doing it.
Brill, let's do it.
Doing it.
Absolutely.
Watch this space.
Brilliant.
So even Georgina's just said it's a great idea. That is praise indeed from Georgina.
Isn't it?
Wow.
You know, think of the little nuggets of dirt in that we could bring up as well.
Not be that type of podcast, Craig. Seriously.
Really?
Well, maybe.
Are we on a totally different train of thought? I'm joking. I'm joking. No, it's something we have talked about for quite a wee while.
Yeah.
So
but it's
we're
nice,
both
isn't it? Because we
serious.
know like how many of you watch these live shows, but potentially sometimes you miss the shows. But I think we could offer you like a bit of a look back on what you might have missed. We can look forward to what's coming up, but then also, like you say, do some behind the scenes stuff, chat to a few of the guys that perhaps you don't normally hear from. Like lots of you love that picture I put up yesterday, the Georges, so all that kind of stuff. But anyway.
The proof's there where, you know, you got all of us on the team, you know, you guys, you have an interest, you follow us when it comes to Crafters TV.
Yeah.
But what's lovely is, once again, all of us on the team, just not me and Ben, but you've got such an interest, a dedication to us as our personal self. So it's like, let's do it. Let's do some kind of crafty, personal podcast. So we'll look at that to do.
And
but there you go.
lovely card as well.
There we are. So a little easel card, but that could be 5x7, 6x4. You could do little bits of fussy cutting if you wanted to, whether it's a 2-tone blend, a 3-tone blend, if you're going in with your depth, your shadows, all these different things that you could start to do. But you can keep it very, very simple, but really effective, bringing in your nesting dies that you've got at home.
Lovely, lovely make, and great actually that we spent a bit of time doing that colouring so you could see again just how these Classiques are going to work beautifully for you. And if you want to go for this set, it's a great one to get you started because you're going to get 24 of your Classiques. So you've got the 24 brights and you've got your 24 pastels as well. Of course, dual-tipped alcohol markers with that fine precision nib, and you've got your chisel nib on the other end as well. So 24 pens to get you started, and that really is where your spending ends on this particular deal, because we throw in for free, you've got your rustic brown alcohol-proof ink. You've then got your All About You stamp set included as well, and you're also going to get your Nina cardstock too, so 16 sheets of Nina. Everything there you need to get going with your Classique starter collection. And it's $31.98 or $47.92 if you're platinum. Now, if you perhaps have already...
Sorry. Pammy. How simple is it as a name?
Yeah.
I love it. Behind the paper.
Like that.
Behind the paper.
Behind the paper.
Yeah, something as simple behind, or yeah, that's what Pammy's put behind the paper. Or anyway, so I just while that caught my eye there,
Behind the paper, the behind-the-scenes look at the world of craft with Crafters Companion stars Craig and Ben. I like that a lot, actually. He says, I thought you were saying a pubcast, and that sounded great.
We could do that too.
We could film it we could record it in the pub, couldn't we?
Different pubs.
Yeah, pub podcast. Just keep,
Yeah.
just drink and see what we sound like at the start compared to the end. Behind the pint, says George.
Well,
No.
we're having a pint and showing a paper pad at the same time.
Oh dear. Yeah, let's keep it craft related. Now, if you want to go for a bigger collection, what we're going to do is show you the 60 pen collection. So you're going to get the 2 sets that you get within the starter set, okay? So the 2 that I've just shown you, your pastels and your brights, but then we're also going to throw in 3 more sets, so you're going to get another 36 pens in total. So you've got your floral collection. You can see all of the different range of colours that you're going to get within these sets. You're also then going to get your nature. So this again is all more of your green colours, more of your sort of browns, your earthy sort of colours that you're going to receive in there too. And then you're also going to receive your vintage collection, which again is a bit more of a sort of a muted sort of pastel affair. But you've got again a lovely collection of pens to be working with there in the Classique range, with a £20, $15 saving today, just over. So it's £63.19 or $107.19. We've also got the packs of 6 available for you as well, a total of 90 pens. And what you've got here is a selection of your blends collection, and then you've got your hint of collections as well. So with the hint ofs, you've got 18 of those within this set. So you've got your tinted neutrals, you've also got your elegant hues, and then you've got your delicate florals as well. So these, again, perfect to use on their own, but as we were talking about blending a little bit earlier, going to allow you to kind of blend in between the colours that you might already have, thus extending the blends that you can get from your Classique. So those are 18 of the pens that you will get within this set. Once again, don't forget, as they're the Classiques, your dual-ended, so you've really got great scope for colouring. And then the rest of the pens that you'll get in this set are the blends. So again, as we're seeing here, you've got your greys, a whole selection of different blends allowing you to get that 1 pen, 2 pen, 3 pen blend within the greys. And it goes through all of the different colours that you've got as well. So you've got the pink blends and the yellows. You've got 6 of the browns, you've got the reds, you've got the purples and the turquoises. I mean, this is a massive bundle, really, isn't it? And then also on top of that, within the blends collection, we're going to give you your shade and tone, Brilliant selection too. If you like to do sort of portraits, you've got your skin tone. So this again is all about the fair skin tones. You've got your dark skin tones there as well. And then you've got a selection of your blues and your greens. So however you want to work it with your Classiques, I think we've got a collection for everybody on this show today. The 6-pack 90 pen selection has a £30 saving, $45 and change, which means today Platinum, you're £95.19, or if you're shopping with us in the US, $143.19, which gives you your free shipping on that collection too. Now, yesterday, if you were watching Craft House, you'll know that the lovely Tiffany zoomed in from the States, and we had a brilliant show with her. And one of the things that you guys absolutely loved yesterday was the deals that we were doing on the buddy bags. Now, I just thought I would show you Deborah at this point, because of course Deborah is going to be a perfect companion to go with your Classique markers, because she fits those Classiques in there absolutely perfectly. And also, but these are going to be great if you don't have, like a designated craft room, if you don't have a lot of space. It's a brilliant way to be able to pop these on your table and dispense those pens out whenever you want to use them. So really, really handy. We've actually got, we've got in there 15 pens. You'll get another row in there, potentially. So plenty of room for all of those pens. You've got a 4 for 3 across the buddy bag, so 18 buddy bags, which we'll go through in more detail in just a bit. However, if you decided that actually, well, Deborah's perfect for the Classiques, I want to go for a 4 for 3 on the Deborah buddy bag, there's nothing to stop you from doing that. You don't have to mix and match them up. So if you're going, okay, I'll get a few Classiques today, go for 4 of the Deborah buddy bags and only pay for 3. Individually, the price at £4.79 or $6.39. But let's just give you a bit of an overview of some of the other buddy bags which are in that deal. And again, if you want more information on these, by the way, go back and watch the Craft House show from last night. Tiffany did a good 15-minute chat around all of these buddy bags and really explained very well just which ones might be for which kind of crafty item. This is Merle the Pearl. I'll always remember how to pronounce that now, because she just says, remember, it's not Merle, just remember Merle is a pearl. So Merle the Pearl is $4.79 or $6.39 if you're platinum. Then you've got Katya. Again, within the 4 for 3, £4.79 or $7.19. And one more, which could potentially be your 4th within this little selection, which is Edna, £4.79 platinum or $6.39. What I would say is check the website for full details on the selection of 18. If we get a chance a little bit later on, we'll go through a few. We'll go through a few more of the buddy bags that you've got in that deal in just a little bit. Terry Tom Anderson, hello Terry, says definitely do the podcast named Crafty Man Can. Crafty Man for Crafty Man Craig and Can for Ben's Can song. I like that a lot. Keep the suggestions coming through. And any more questions as well? I'll tell you what, we'll take a short break. We've got a few questions which we will pop to Craig in just a few moments' time. But now is a good time to be checking out your baskets. And we will come back with more Colour Me Happy, more of your questions, more hints and tips after this short break.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet. The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing.
Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day. Quick Buy. All your crafting must-haves in a flash. Draw, decorate, and customize your world with the colorful Spectrum Noir acrylic paint markers. Each premium paint marker gives opaque coverage on ceramic, glass, wood, and let's not forget paper, cardstock, and canvas. These versatile markers are filled with highly pigmented premium water-based paint, offering beautiful, rich, and smooth coverage. The colors can be blended together, and the fast-drying opaque paint is ideal for layering. A 3mm bullet tip offers smooth strokes, and a precision valve mechanism allows rich and consistent flow with no clogging. Quick Buy. All your crafting must-haves in a flash.
Welcome back. I just looked at the time. Can't believe we've got less than half an hour to go on this show. It is absolutely flown by. Thank you for all of your lovely comments coming through. Just a quick question from Tim C. If I sort of praise this, just asking about the Classiques. Says you use them mainly on white stamping card. Will they last longer using Nina cardstock, which is the cardstock that we say to kind of use your alcohol markers on, isn't it?
Yeah. So potentially, they're going to last a bit longer using your Nina, because with the, what was white stamping card, which is now multi-purpose cardstock, it's to do with the fibres, the build-up. So although if you didn't have Nina cardstock for a short period of time, a nice substitute would be the multi-purpose. Again, it's to do with the cardstock, it's to do with the fibres, etc., etc. So your Nina cardstock being manufactured for your alcohol colouring. If you then use something that's a little bit more fibrous, which a multi-purpose cardstock is, it's going to soak the ink that little bit more. Not necessarily where it's going to bleed your cardstock, but what will happen is it's going to retain a little bit more of the ink, so therefore it's going to waste some of your ink from your pens. So therefore, if you want that ink to last that way bit longer, then yes, if you use the Nina cardstock, that's going to do it best for retaining your ink and lasting the pens a wee bit longer.
Good question, like that. Any more you want to throw away before 1:30, then please do get in touch on Facebook and indeed on YouTube, and we will fire those questions Craig's way. Any more pictures as well? Just heard producer Georgina say that some pictures have come through. We love to see what you guys are up to, anything that you're working on currently, or anything that you've kind of finished recently that you'd like to show us. Send those pictures to us at studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, and we'll show this before the end of the show. 25 minutes to go. What you're going to be doing? Looks like you're making backgrounds over there.
So within the starter collection, you'll maybe notice that there's a nice little collection together, but there's not actually a stamp in it to colour. Now, you may have lots of stamps already at home, but you can still make a really, really pretty card. So what I've already done beforehand, using the stamp sets that you do get, the sentiment stamp set, all that I've done is I've stamped out you, and then using many of the additional verses, sentiments, words that you've got included, I've just done mean the world to me. So I've created my own little topper there. So that's my topper. And then what I've already done beforehand as well. So using my A3 Centura Pearl, what I've done is lengthwise, I've cut it to 16 1/4 by 5 inches. And then what I've done is, actually let's do it this way, it'll be easier for you to explain it. What I've then done is I've then scored at 2 inches, 3 1/2 inches, 6.5 inches and 8 inches. So once again, that was 16.25 by 5 inches, and I've scored at 2 inches, 3.5, 6.5, and 8 inches. So then what I'll start to do is going back in this way. So a mountain, a mountain, a mountain, and then this last one is a valley fold. So it's actually going to be a bit of a dimensional card that we can see like that one.
Yeah.
And then what I've done is I've taken strips of Neenah cardstock. I've cut them to size. Now you can do them individually, like I've done here. I do have some mats and layers to go underneath to show you in a moment. But what you could do if you wanted to, Ben, if you didn't want to do these 4 individually, you could just do a full strip of Neenah cardstock and then just do what I'm away to do and then trim it down. So
yeah.
You've got options there. But all that I'm going to do within these ones here is, let's take these. I'm going to go in with my pens, and what I've decided to do is I've gone with colour 1 of each of the colour families. So pistachio, JG1, daffodil, CT1, duck egg, AB1, lavender, LV1, and then soft purple, PL1. So I'm just using the lightest tone out of these colours. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along with my ruler. And although it's not really necessary about putting cardstock underneath, I'm still going to do it anyway,
yeah.
just so it gives it a little bit of structure. And then let's go into this kind of like main panel here. And then I'm going to alternate between the fine nib as well as the chisel nib. So let's take, in actual fact, let's just take my lids off of all of them just now, so it's easier and then quicker, because I do have one other demonstration that I want to show you. So let's take these ones off. And then what we can do is if I come in here with my ruler, so let's go in with our pistachio, and then all that I'm doing is I'm going to create my own background, Ben.
Okay.
I'm going to do strips. So I'm using the chisel nib, and then I might actually go a little bit further in, and I'm going to do a couple layers so that we get a nice smooth blend. And then I'm going to go along, and then tell you what, instead of using the chisel nib, let's go in with the fine nib. Keeping in mind, if you're doing this, do check your ruler first and give it a clean. Can you see how I've got a dark line here?
Yeah.
That's because I've obviously used a dark pen. In saying that, that does look quite effective. It gives it a highlight drop. So don't worry about it, don't panic. But if you don't want that to happen, just give your ruler a bit of a wipe first and foremost. And then let's go in with our lavender. And then let's do the same. I want it to be quite close up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to put my ruler right to the edge. And then I'm going to do the same. And I'm doing it a few times so that we can get that edge to edge. This time here, let's go in, instead of using the chisel nib, let's use the bullet nib. And then I'm going to go down, let's move my ruler along a wee bit. And you decide the thickness of each of the strips. So then this one, let's go right to the edge, and let's go back to my chisel nib. And we're going to go back and carry on, keeping going. Let's this time go in with the yellow.
What a fun way to use your markers.
Do you know something? See, when I'd done this, it was so fun.
Because I've seen you, I think it was you, but previously, you guys have made your own backgrounds, perhaps taking a particular stamp or a particular sentiment and creating backgrounds that way. But I've never seen anyone create a background like this, and it's such a fun way to be able to do it, and great for like personalisation as well, isn't it? Because as much as we've got brilliant papers and so much to choose from, sometimes you might not exactly find what you want with the colours that you want. So this is the way to do it.
It is, and I could have taken that starter set, Ben, and brought in one of the other stamps and coloured that in. But I thought, right, well, let's not do that. Let's just focus on what is in the starter kit, and let's show you how you can still make a really cute, really funky card, even although you've not got a specific coloured image to colour in.
And don't these work brilliantly for the fact that, as you're showing here, you've got the fine nib, so the combination of a bit of colour with the fine nib and then a bit of colour with the chisel really creates a lovely effect, doesn't it?
It does. And if I wanted that longer than what the chisel nib would give me, all that I do is then just move my ruler, so I've got a thicker line.
Love it.
And then let's do that again with the chisel nib. And then I'm still going to stick with the same pen. I'm going to come a bit further down and use the chisel nib. And then let's do one more. Let's then go into our duck egg. Just checking that is the duck egg, yep. And then all that I'm doing is I'm going to only use, was it the duck egg or, that's it, yeah.
Do you know what, Georgina? You've read my mind here, because I was just thinking, this reminds me of like an 80s sweet. And I don't know what it is. The wrapper of like a...
I get that.
A sweet.
I get that, yeah.
Which one is it? Is it, like the Rock?
A lot of rock talk today, eh?
Back to the Rock. Oh, like Rock, like you used to get at Blackpool Beach. It does look a little bit like Rock.
It does, doesn't it?
They still do Rock.
You do, yeah, I do like rock.
Used to have the Rock with the little message running through.
The message that runs all the way throughout.
Yeah, stick of rock.
Yeah. But then, creating...
That's brilliant.
Our own little background that you can see here. And you can have them thicker, thinner. If you want to come in and do tiny little dots or that, you absolutely can do. But then if I bring in this one here, so you can see how I've gone closer. There's endless possibilities and the different depths, the widths, the combinations that you're going to start to do. These are all using the same colours that I used a moment ago, but you can see how you can start to create your background. And if you do it in a full strip, chop it up, you're going to get that continuation all the way through. But even then, you know, it doesn't matter if they don't continue all the way round. You're just creating your own backdrop. And if I didn't know offhand, I would think that was out of one of our 8x8 Era Crafts paper, or that bright one that we've got, the 12x12 ones. It could easily be from that. And then all that I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these onto my mats and layers. I've forgotten to put a mat and layer for this one, but I've got one for the others. So what we can do is start to assemble these, and then we can pop them onto our card.
Debbie Mann on YouTube says, I love this idea, Craig. Gilmore as well, saying, love this effect. Really cool, isn't it? Really cool. Lorna Jane on YouTube says, it looks like a twister bar. A twister bar.
Twister bar.
Don't remember a twister
bar. I don't
bar.
remember a twister.
Twister bar.
Oh, the twister, is it the, oh, I remember the Twister Ice lollies.
No, yes, because they were on a stick, weren't they?
On a stick.
Yes, I know what you mean now. Twister bars.
That
remember
nice
the game
bit of
Twister?
Citrus with sweet ice cream in it.
You what?
The Twister lollies, bit of citrus with the
didn't it have ice cream
ice
on there?
cream all the way around, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I still get a bit funny when I talk about, you know, my thing about wooden lollipops.
Oh, wooden lollipops.
Oh, sorry, just a bit of a shiver go through me. Let's stop talking about that. Janet says, great.
Oh, that's just, oh yeah, no, sorry. No, I was just about to say, I was a way to say to you, Ben.
Don't talk about lolly sticks anymore.
I was a way to say, yesterday I went through to Bishop Auckland.
Oh, yeah, you bought me a present.
That's what, and it's just dawned on me. Do you know what? There we go. I totally forgot to give you it live. Here we go.
Oh,
There
thanks.
you go.
Where is this from?
I've left the card that I got the stall from. It's in there.
Bishop Auckland Food Festival.
The food festival, yeah. And I was away to say you wouldn't have enjoyed eating using the cutlery I was using yesterday.
Because it was wooden.
But yeah, and that just reminded me I bought you that gift, didn't I? I had said to you.
Thanks. Oh, it's from the Hedgehog Bakery. Whoa, look at that.
Look.
Oh, George is coming in. George is coming in. Oh, thank you very much. When can I have that? In a minute. Have you had some? Have you had some?
Not of that one. I bought a lemon one for myself.
I'll chop up a little bit for you guys so you can taste it as well.
Do you know what this is turning like the Good Food Channel.
What on earth?
Focaccia.
Focaccia.
Yeah,
That
brought
looks amazing.
And then there was, I also got Scotch egg that had a black pudding all the way around. That's in the fridge. That's for my lunch.
Oh man.
So,
well,
yeah.
listen. Thanks for watching Classiques TV. That was kind of me happy. I'll see you later.
He's away, eating. So yeah, well, you're welcome. See, can you imagine the amount of chat that we would have on our podcast?
And exactly right. Exactly right. Rachel's just gone drool, pure torture. I'll let you know how nice it was when I've eaten it in a minute. Great idea for graduation cards and school colours, says Janet Bradley.
Yeah,
Thank you for the idea.
school colours.
Yeah, like you could do like the school tie colours.
That's it, the school tie colours, wouldn't you? Could do that.
Karen Wells-Starr says, wow, that's so pretty. Thank you, Craig. I can't wait to try this idea. And Stephen on Facebook says, it's the fruit salad sweet wrapping, Ben. Yes, it is that as well.
It's the fruit salad.
Ones that used to pull your teeth out.
That's right. It is like them, isn't it?
You used to get those in the blackjacks, didn't
Oh,
you?
I love the blackjacks.
Yeah.
Loved them.
Be careful how you at those.
Now, I would have put a matte layer underneath it. I've just forgot to include it. But what I want to do is a different slant on an easel card. So all that I'm going to do is I've got my hot glue on, and then I'm going to add that to the side here. So that's acting as a little bit of a stopper. I don't want to press that right to the side just yet because the hot glue will catch it. But if I hold that a second and then bring that one in there, so that would be the stopper. So that's using the stamp set that you've got within that starter kit, using the pens that I use, the Classique pens. So instead of colouring an image, what we've just done is used the starter collection, created our own background, and that could be with any of the pens, it could be any size card that you want, but something a little bit different that you could try at home.
That's brilliant, and a great way again to show you why the starter collection is one that you absolutely need to go for. I'll show you again exactly what you're going to get as far as that starter collection is concerned. So the price on it basically is you're going to be getting the bright and the pastels in your Classiques. So 24 pens you're going to get there in total in the colours that you can see. And then what we've decided to do actually to make it a nice accessible collection for everybody is to give you one of the alcohol-proof ink pads in the rustic brown. So that takes care of whatever it is that you're going to be stamping. You've got the perfect ink pad for that. You're then going to be getting your selection of sentiments as well. So all about you. So you've got that gorgeous you stamp there, and you can make up your own sentiments. So thank you. You've got this. You beauty. Dearest, what does that say? Oh, you deserve this. You are enough. You are amazing.
You deserve it.
You still got it.
You're on holiday
You be quiet.
until you're off again.
I'm off next Saturday. You're going to get 16 sheets of your Nina cardstock included in there as well. So £31.98, $47.92 is the deal if you're shopping with us in the US. Also, on the show, it's worth actually just mentioning to you, we've got the Cindy tote. Now, I'll show you the two colours that we've got available. This launched on Crafters TV yesterday with the Totally Tiffany show that we had on the Craft House. Brand new. It's the same dimensions as the lowest tote, okay? So it's 13 by 13 by 11. However, as Tiffany was talking to us about, a lot of you had said that you loved your lowest, but could you get kind of like a, not necessarily an upgraded, but one with a few more features which included more pockets. So that's what the guys have done there. They've given you the size that you liked, they've given you extra pockets as well. So you've got the fabric pocket one side, plenty of room for popping in more of your tools, potentially you get some of your plates in there as well. And then on the other side, you've got one of your see-through pockets as well. So two extra deep pockets that you've got on the outside of the bag. Then, again, a lot of you sort of were piling loads into your totes because these do take a fair old weight, right? Whether you are putting your crafty gear in here, whether you're taking these to the grocery store, they take a lot of weight. So a few of you were asking whether or not you could get a bag with a bit of a shoulder strap in there to make it a little bit more comfortable. And again, the guys have answered that for you. So you've got that shoulder strap there. You can hook the two handles in. You've got that hook and mesh fastening. So that fastens up really nicely, and that's going to sit nice and comfortably on your shoulder for you. And then the other request was about having a bag with a lid, because again, things might potentially fall out if you're throwing it in the back of the car. But with Cindy, what you've got is this lid on the top here. You've got the zipper attachment, so you can simply just zip across the top, and then you've got the lid to the top of your bag there as well. So everything's going to stay nice and safe. Still all see-through for you, so you can see exactly where everything is in your bag, and of course wipe clean too. So it's brilliant, really. Upgraded, if you like. More pockets, that top, and then you've got the comfortable shoulder pad there too. It's available for you in purple. You've also got it available in black too. So whichever way you go, you've got a 15% saving. Platinum price, you get that 20% off, of course, as well, £16.99 or $20.36. And as with the lowest tote, the great thing about these two is that they will very easily take your craft and carry workstation. If you check the web again from yesterday, we do have a deal still available for you where you can pick up the two at a great price. So again, plenty of options, plenty of price points for everybody, but those proved popular yesterday. If you want to get your hands on them, you'll be one of the very first here at Crafters TV, because they only launched on Crafters TV yesterday. Right, we are unbelievably 7 minutes away from the end of the show, so we're going to quickly do now the demo of the show vote. We'll get that going, and I think Craig is going to squeeze in one final quick demo. So recap us, please, mister, as to what you've done this show.
Let's do it. So number one, made this little oval easel card here, colouring in with the Classiques. That's number one. Number two, we created our background with the Classique pens. This was using the starter collection, and this will be number three here. So even if we just do a little bit of colouring, but this is how it would then come together by the end. So that's three. So 1, 2, or 3.
Get voting on that. You've got about 4 minutes or so to get your votes in, and we will announce that result very shortly. We're going to squeeze in another demo, but don't forget, still lots to look forward to today. Second Chance Sunday coming your way from 7 o'clock tonight, 2 o'clock Eastern. Do you know what? I'm looking forward to that show, particularly for the fact that there's loads of stuff that I've not seen because I've been away. Did I mention that? And it's going to be like a launch party for me. We've got Craft Along coming up as well in an hour and a half time, just over. 2 guests joining us on that Craft Along with Craig coming your way from 10 o'clock Eastern time. But with the time ticking away, Craig is going to quickly, I think, squeeze in one final little demo. It'll have to be fairly swift though, because as I say, time is running out. So what do you reckon you could squeeze in over the course of the next, well, it's going to be about probably 4 or 5 minutes, probably not much more than that, Craig. What can you do?
So what I've already done, so using our alcohol-proof ink pad, we're going to go in with our Conifong, because these are absolutely gorgeous stamps. Already stamped out. Now, I did use beforehand the Noir Black. However, you can be using your Flagstone, your Pebble. That's entirely up to you. Nina cardstock, alcohol, ink pad, and that's what we've done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with some teal and ice green. So ice green being GT1 and GT3. Following on from, I'm still just going to use the two-tone blend for this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, and then I'm going to start with that lightest tone, and I'm going to go in, I'm going to lay that colour down, because by going in with the lightest tone, we are kind of priming the cardstock. We want to build up that alcohol ink, and then I'm going to go in, and I'm only going to go in finely, because what I want to do is I want to get that shape of our dress. So I'm going to go in now, and I'm going to blend them out. And usually you'll find in larger areas I tend to do circular motions. Yeah. But then with something like this, because I would always recommend that you do section at a time, just going in and I'm pulling the colour down. The other reason I'm doing it, being totally honest with you, I think a lot of our pens need either refilled or a new set. So many of them are actually starting to dry out, like you can see here. But you think how many live shows we do a day, how many live shows we do a week, how many times our classiques are getting picked up.
Yeah, it's amazing we don't
getting
see it more
used.
often.
And as you say, I'm surprised it's not happened sooner. But there we go. I am just going to build them up. If you find that you're starting to run out a little bit of ink, of course, our Classique pens are refillable. But then what you could do is if you use that bullet nib the most, this is when we say usually store them on their side. But then if you find that start to dry out, whatever nib you use, store them that way around so the ink is then starting to then, gravity is taking force, pulling down to the nib. So I tend to just sit it on its side here. And then what I'm going to do is do that again, whereas I'm going to go in down the flow of her dress. So we're going to go in, following that flow right towards the right-hand side. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker till about halfway down. And then let's come back in. And then I'm going to start to blend them out. Now I'm going to put a wee bit of pressure on because we have got very, very little ink within this one. But then all that you would start to do is blend that one out. So if I start to blend that out a little bit more, I'm not going to get the perfect one because we're out of ink. But can you even see from up above, you see how we're starting to get that shape? Each individual pleat has got its own shape, and I've only done 2, but we are quite literally running out of time. So following the dress, and then for the lilac, I used the LV1, and then what we've done for her hair is used the GY1 and GY3, and then for the wings, it was just your brown grey for the back, and your skin tones there. Your skin tone was the 3 of them, which was FS3, FS6, and FS8. These have all been featured in so many different Colour Me Happy shows or master classes. So you'll find the Classique pens, you'll find the Connie Fong stamps across on our YouTube that you can go back and watch. But all that I would do, Ben, is come along, some of my pattern paper, let's just pop that one, creating a little box theatre card or a diorama card, layering them up that we can see there, there, and then pop that one in. That can go there. Let's put a couple of strips to finish off. And then within each of the stamp sets too, you've got little sentiments, but then you can start to build them up. Add a little bit of extra detail with the embellishment stamps or gems, and then there we go. Start to colour them all together, combine them, so then you can then do your box cards, your box lids, your diorama, your theatre, but you can do that sort of style.
Fantastic. A lovely way to finish. Thank you for all the lovely comments coming through. We've got a couple of pictures to show. We'll quickly have a look at those now before we do the demo of the show result. Thank you for all of these. We'll whiz through them so super quickly, but thank you, Kimberly, for showing us the projects that you are working on currently. These are absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
I love the next one as well coming up with the lovebirds there. They are gorgeous, and thank you as well to Terry. That one's from our
oh, beautiful.
Our flowers
Yearly flower
collection, isn't it? Gorgeous. Thank you everyone so much for showing us your projects. Demo of the show, talking the projects. I'm surprised because I personally would have gone for 2, but it's number 1.
Number 1?
Yes.
Oh, look at that, number 1.
There you go.
There you go, number 1, and I'm definitely going to win today.
You are definitely going to win today, which is always good news.
Bit of catching up to do, I do.
You have got? Have you?
Actually, no, I don't.
Oh no, you got 5. No, I haven't. He's got 5 wins already. Thank you to Craig. Thank you to you guys for tuning in. We'll be back in an hour and a half. We've got a craft along coming up. 2 guests, I believe, joining us for that craft along. So we'll look forward to that. Lorna, Jane and Susan will be with us, so that's going to be totally awesome. And of course, a little bit later on, Second Chance Sunday. Totally rad, man. Second Chance Sunday with loads of goodies to bring to you, and of course, all the votes to come too. It's going to be a great day. If you've got stuff in your basket right now, make sure you check them out, and we will be back with you, won't we, in an hour and a half.
Cowabunga, dude!